Welcome to how to create a new Gmail account. Thank you for being here today. I am Teacher Star. This project is fully funded under a grant contract with the state of Tennessee. Thank you, Tennessee. And there are many exciting future projects coming up. Please keep in contact with your local library's YouTube account and Facebook page. This particular session will be diving into creating a new Gmail account, and we're focusing particularly on Gmail because it has numerous benefits, and we'll talk about those benefits once we dive into the process. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen and then we'll walk through the process. One moment. All right, so the first thing we need to do in setting up our Gmail account is open your preferred browser. In this case, you should be looking at the Edge, which is Microsoft's newest browser. So I do have the Edge loaded. In creating our Gmail account, the first step we're going to do is go to the URL, the address, and start with gmail.com. So we're just going to type in gmail.com. All right, and this takes us to the initial sign-in screen. Now you see automatically it triggered to my registered already Gmail account because it starts with INTI, which is my initial beginning of my email account. But we're going to create a new account. So we're going to go to the bottom and click on new account, and then we'll get started from here. So we got three options we'll dive into as to what all that is about. But let's step back a little bit and go over the great benefits that a Gmail account offers. So one, it's free, great bonus. It has excellent spam filters, and it keeps up with your inbox cleaner than any other email in comparison to Hotmail, Yahoo, Outlook, and so forth. It has very generous storage space, which we'll dive into and see where that is once we create our email. But you get 10 plus, so I believe it's 25, but we'll look into that, of storage space for free. You can change your theme in ways of your inbox, and again, we'll dive into that. It has countless plugins and extensions, and once again, these are free, and they essentially help you customize your workflow so you can utilize your email to the most efficient possible. It also has the power of the Google search functionality. So it's right within your inbox that you can search the Google web search. And it's easily accessible in the sense of that it can be accessed anywhere where there is internet. So as long as there is internet, you can log into your Gmail account. And lastly, it's reliable and it rarely crashes. And again, this is in comparison to Yahoo and Outlook and other emails that I've personally experienced and people that I've worked with in the last 15 some years. All right, so now let's dive into how to set up our new Gmail account. So the first step was gmail.com. We entered that into the URL. This took us here. The bottom right here, you see the option which says create account. So we're gonna go ahead and click on that. And we have three options. We see that one, it's gonna be a private for myself, or if you're setting up an email for your child so you can manage and monitor certain activities. Or if we're doing a business and you would manage my business, that would be the option. For today's particular session, we're going to walk through the process of a private individual Gmail account. So we'll click on for myself. And this takes us to the logistics in creating our Gmail account. So here is where we began the entry of our email. So first name, go ahead and throw in star, and then your last name, and then your username. So your username is going to be your Gmail. It's going to be your new Gmail account. Keep in mind that the username is in relation to the global database. So it has to be unique. it has to be unique to you. So let's go ahead and give this a go. I'm going to say starlove for life@gmail.com. Let's see if that takes it. Oh, nope, this one has already been taken. However, we can see that Gmail spit back an available email or username as starlovelife8. Okay, that sounds good. I'll just click on it. And so that's going to be my personal email account, starlovelife8@gmail.com. Now, the next thing we need to do here is, of course, keep an eye on anything below that text box. You see where it says you can use letters, numbers, and periods. And that includes for your username. So if you want to be creative in your username and add special characters, feel free to do so. Now, the password, this is where we enter our passwords and they must match. So first we enter our password. And I'm going to check this box for demonstration because we want to make sure that our passwords match. And I'm going to use password 1 double star. Keep in mind that this is the weakest password anyone could ever use because it's easily guessed, right? So anyone can hack your account. So this password I would strongly avoid at all costs. So avoid password 1 for your password. This is for demonstration. So it might be best when entering your password to use your manager password, and this comes with Edge. And if you have a Norton security password that also allows you to manage your passwords, any of your browsers, whether it's Chrome or in this particular case is the Edge, all of them have the capability to give you the ability to generate a strong password. So a password that has uppercase, lowercase, some numbers and characters, and there might be in different orders, right? So they don't make sense, which makes it extremely difficult to crack, to hack an account. So I'm gonna go ahead and just choose another password here. But once again, this is also a very weak password because it can be guessed. And we want to make it strong because particularly if we have very sensitive data coming into our inbox, you know, that puts you at risk for data breach. So here we are. Now we're going to go ahead and click on next. The password's matched. That moves us to our next step. And now we get to verify who we are. So Google in this case is particularly asking for a smart or a cell phone, I should say, a cell phone. So a phone or a device, a smart device that allows you to get text messages, to get a code, a security code. Now, this is optional, but it would be highly recommended in today's Asian time with the high alert on cybersecurities. So this is, in a sense, a second layer of security to protect yourself. It's strongly recommended. So I'm just going to go ahead and put in my cell here. And what Google is going to do is send me a security code to verify that it is indeed myself trying to set up this Gmail and not someone else trying to pretend to be me, right? Phishing for information. All right, so here's our number. And then recovery email address. Once again, this is an optional option, but it would be recommended in case some disaster occur, power outage, a lot of things could potentially happen, a virus attack, you know, a lot of anything, right? Anything is possible. So this would be a great idea if you have information in your email that are vital to keep in records. All right, next we're gonna go ahead and enter our date of birth. I'm just randomly choosing a date of birth here. Of course, that is up to you. And our gender here, we'll fill that in. And if you are interested why this information as far as personal information, because we're being cautioned by Google that our information, even though it's personal, it is private and safe. And if you want to know more about that, there's this option here, the hyperlink, why we ask for this information. If you click on this, you are directed to Google support as to their privacy policy, why they collect that particular information. Okay. All right, now that takes us back to our creation of our Gmail account. So from here, we're going to go ahead and click on next. Okay, and we see that we've entered the cell, which I entered previously, and here we're being cautioned. So we want to make sure our phone is ready and available to us to access that 6-digit verification code. So I'm going to go ahead and click on send. And then I just received the code. So I'm going to go ahead and type that right in here, just as it appears. And we're going to go ahead and choose verify from that particular link or window. So next we are, all right, so we're provided with additional services that Google provides. And if we're interested in these options or learn about all these additional options, we can click on more options and read about them. I'm going to go ahead and skip this for now because this particular account is going to be for demonstration on how to create a Gmail account. I don't intend to keep it. So this is going to be a fictitious account is what I'm indicating. So we'll skip this particular part, but it would be advisable to say yes if you want to take advantage of all the additional services that a Gmail account comes with. All right, and here's the privacy in terms policy. From here, we're going to scroll down and we must agree in order to proceed to the next step. And it's loading. Give that a moment here to register that we have agreed to the license terms policy. All right, and voila, we're in. So we've just completed setting up our Gmail account. Now we get to dive into all the logistics and all the fun as far as all the additions that come along with this Gmail account. So the first thing we notice is a couple pop-ups. Here on the left, we are brought to our attention with the Google Meet now in Gmail. So just as I'm using this project presented through Zoom, Google has a similar conference room known as Google Meet. So you can set up video meetings and you can share for up to 100 people. And so once again, this is just a pop-up notification because it's a new feature. And we see that it's highlighted on the left-hand side under Meet, New Meeting, and Join Now. So we'll say got it to the pop-up, and that kind of dissipates, right? And there it is. We see it all here. It was just trying to get our attention. And so in theory, if we did want to set up a meeting through Gmail, all we have to do is click on New Meeting. And we see here that we're provided with the link and we can send it to people to start the meeting, right? So we can start now, but if we're going to be inviting people, we want to send the invitation prior to starting it so that, you know, once you start it, everyone has the code to also join you in your new meeting room. So we'll go ahead and just close that out. Now, on the right, there's another pop-up, and this pop-up is in regards to, excuse me, using Chrome as the browser, default browser. So currently I'm using the Edge Microsoft browser, and we're being notified if we want to switch to Chrome browser. If you're interested, you can say yes. I'm gonna say don't switch. And so now we're back in our new Gmail account that we just set up. And so the next thing we need to do is dive into all the capabilities that it has, right? So on the left-hand side, the first thing we see is Compose. So Compose gives us the ability to select it. That loads up the new message window to compose an email in there. Compose an email to who, the subject, and attached documents, just like any other inbox mail. This is where you begin the information to send that to whomever. So we'll close that out. Now, our inbox, we just created it. We are provided with a get started with Gmail. So the first thing we notice is our customize your inbox. If we click on customize your inbox, we see on the right-hand side a quick setting to see all our settings here. So right now it's the default for the density. Let's choose comfortable, and we'll look at the settings here. Now for the theme, let's take a look at the theme here. And this is just a random selection, but aren't those just amazing? So we'll go ahead and choose that one. And once you've selected a theme, you want to make sure that you save that so it's reflected. And we see now in the get started with your Gmail, the first field we need to touch up in completing the setup is done. So we can see a check mark right here, green check mark, customizing your inbox is completed. The next, changing your profile image. So this is the image that you would see when you sign in. And let's see if I can grab a picture real quick here. Yeah, okay, so that's not gonna happen just because I'm not sure what kind of photos I have. I'm not gonna load anything there, but you have the ability right up here to change your profile and choose any image you like. Currently, we see my image profile is just an S for star. So if I wanted to change that logo, the S, to maybe another image or a photo of myself or a photo of my puppies, whatever photo we are interested in to present who we are as our profile, that's there. So you can click on it right here and that loads it up. And all you have to do is just click on this camera icon, and that takes us back to where we were, to changing your profile. So that's how we go about doing that. Now we see there's a check mark because we've already addressed it. So not necessarily that we've done anything about it. This is just a checklist to our attention for things that we need to be addressing before we get started to take advantage of the email account to its fullest potential. So this is, okay, importing contact and email. So importing contact and email, this is for wanting to import our information. Okay, so we're importing our contacts and email. And when we do this, this is the page that loads up. What account do you want to import from? And it gives us the example, right? And we can continue. I'm not importing anything, but in your situation, if there is some data that you've exported, say from a Yahoo account or an AOL account, and we want to import that information to our new Gmail account, this is how we go about doing it. Okay, and then the last one is the Get Gmail for mobile. So get your official Gmail mobile app. I already have my mobile app, but if you have a smartphone and you want to download your Gmail mobile app on your phone, that way you have access to your Gmail on your phone at all times. You just have to scan that QR code, this code right here. Just grab your phone, go to the camera and scan that QR code. Or you can just go to gmail.com/app, and that will give you the ability to download the Gmail mobile app. That way you have that on your phone. All right, so now we're in our inbox and we see that we're ready to compose and look at all the other features available to us. So on the left-hand column, let's look at the more option. These are all our labelings, right? Our inbox, items that we've starred as important. So if this was an important message, which is just a welcome email from Gmail. So here's Google, correction, Google is welcoming me for creating a Gmail account, right? And so if this was in theory an important message and we wanted to star it so that it makes it easy for us to navigate to and find among hundreds of emails that we might have accumulated over time, we can do that. So then in the future, if we click on starred on the start box, it'll give us all the items that we've starred as important, as bookmarked. Here's our snoozed items. We haven't snoozed anything. So if we want to snooze it, this is the snooze right here. And if we click on snooze, we have the ability to snooze an email, say to later that day, tomorrow, sometime in the weekend, or maybe in another week. or you can customize and pick a particular date and time to be reminded. So if there's an email that you wanted to be reminded about at a particular time, that's how we go about doing it. All right, now our left-hand column still. The next thing is our sent. So this is where we see all the information in the sense of emails that we've sent out to people or groups. In our drafts, some emails that we might have started and did not complete, they will be in our draft. So they'll be auto saved there where we can go back to them in the drafts and finish and send them out. Our important items, we can label them as important with that labeling icon. So if we come back to our inbox and if we check this and go to the top, here's our labels, right? And so here's where we can manage our labels. So we maybe can create our new label. We can call it whatever, maybe we're in school and we want to keep things clean. So we can say in school, and the nesting has to be under the parent. So we can see here, select a parent. We haven't selected the parent, but we'll just leave it at that. So there's no nesting. So it's just going to be a folder on the left-hand column where you see the inbox, start, snooze, sent. We're going to have another folder called school to keep things organized. So when we get our emails or contacts that's related to our schools, we can associate them to this folder for simplicity. So that's how we go about doing that. Now, let's say we want to compose an email, and in composing any email, it's always nice, right? In particular to professionalism, it's important to have a signature, right? So to create a signature, let's go ahead and dive into our settings and let's take a look here. It should be in our settings here. Let's see all settings. All right. This is where we can manage any of our settings. So grammars, you definitely want to leave that on. And as you can see, most of these settings are already turned on by default. Spelling suggestions, autocorrect, writing suggestions. These are by default turned on to personalize and customize our account to its fullest potential. But if there is any additional information you're looking for, like enable experimental access, so you can gain early access to features still under development. So Google may email you to request feedback on these new experimental features. If you are interested in something as this, you can enable that feature just by checking this box. So I'm going to disable it. So let's continue going here. Here's our start items. We can change them. Right now that's in use. We can change it to green, whatever color we prefer. But I'm looking for signature, and it's near the bottom. We see right here, signature. Currently there's no signature. And we're going to go ahead and click on create new signature. So okay, so we see the email is there, and actually, and in theory, see, we can change that. There we go. Edit that. What I'm trying to do is add a, please don't print, green environmental. All right, let's see here. Insert signature before quotes, text reply, so you can insert it. You can insert, reply, insert, and you can add really anything. So here, if we click on that, and let's say you want to do your title, something like that. Oops, that's there. Something like that. And let's see if we hit that there. So there's your signature. And so we want to make sure we hit save at the end, all the way at the bottom. And this is where you can add the plain text. Let's see, for example, signature. All right, a Greenway for, see how simple it is. Hopefully you're all able to see the screen that I'm, there, right? So we can easily do this, choose below, make your own. Say this, let's say this one right here. So we can just copy that, Control C, go back to our inbox here in there, right? So if we click on Save Changes, and let's say we're composing now an email, we just open that up to okay, and subject, we'll just say test. Now where is my signature? Okay, I might have to close this and reload it in some cases. For some settings to be applied, a close and a reopen should do the trick. So let's demonstrate how do we re-log back into our new Gmail account with the dual security authentication, which is the password. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and close the screen, which you might not be seeing anything any moment. Give me 1 second and I will reshare that screen. Okay, and we should be looking back at our Edge, the Edge browser. So we're just going to sign into our Gmail. It's important that we spell it right because we can see that we are rerouted to some garbage site. So here we are. Now we're brought back to the sign in. Now I did not save it from earlier, so let's hope I remember what I had wrote down for my password. It was star. Oh goodness. Okay, I think it was love life 48@gmail.com. Now, because I didn't tell the browser for the save password manager to save my password, you can see that the browser, which happens to be the Edge, of course, not Chrome. So if I'm using Chrome, it makes it easy for me to log back into my account. But for whatever reason, if you do not prefer to use Chrome, these are the steps you have to go through, right? So you enter your email and then the password, and we can see that it picked up on the password. For demonstration, I'm going to go ahead and show the password because we want to make sure that it's right. I believe this is correct. Let's take a look at it. So I'm going to go ahead and click on next. Oh, no, that's not it. It wasn't Love Life 48. It was Love Life 8. Oh, 4 life. Love. Oh, goodness. See what dilemma, what happens? All right, let me do this. I'm going to close this and I'm going to use Chrome. And let's see if Chrome picked up on it. Okay, so this is a great demonstration. Give me 1 moment and you should be looking at this second to the Chrome browser. So Chrome is loaded here. This is my email from not when we set up together. So I'm going to sign out of that. Right, and then we can sign back into use another account, and then we sign into our email. Now, of course, earlier I used the Edge, which in turn did not save my Gmail because I did not tell it to do so. So a real quick run to creating an email account. We'll go ahead and dive into that through Gmail. Practice makes perfect, right? So I'm going to use a different one here. I'm going to do all right there. Let's see. Okay, now keep in mind we want to remember the Gmail or the username. Okay, we got love life for life 655. That's a quite big Gmail account. So we'll keep it simple. I'm just going to put star love, and it came back with, nope, not what I wanted. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to randomly do this. Did it pick it? Oh, it did. All right, so there, Intisar Love Life. Perfect. Now our password, they must match. We can check this box to make sure that they match, which if I had clicked on next, that would not match and it would have came back. And there's a double star here. And next. And our password or our phone number for dual security verification. And we should have our phone available to us. And I just received the code. All right, we're going to go ahead and jot that in there. And verify the code. It's happy with that. We'll go ahead and choose our date of birth and our gender, and we'll resume, and we'll skip this informational. We'll agree to the license term, and we should have our account. So we already know the basics because we've done this now twice because we set up 2 Gmail accounts, and we can see that this is using the Chrome interface. So this is the browser Chrome in comparison to the Edge. So we've demonstrated creating the Gmail account through the Edge and through Chrome. So in Chrome, here we are, it welcomed us. And as far as the personal settings, all that is going to be right under here. Manage your Google account. But before we do that, let's take a look at the right-hand column. You see all these additional apps. All these apps come with creating a Gmail account for free. So if you're into Google Ads or Classroom, which I heavily used when I was in school. So this is for taking notes and staying organized. And that's vitally important when you're in school and work. And there's numerous things. There is Google One, there's the search engine, the map, the Meet, which is also in our inbox, right? In our inbox. So this is just the account, the Google account, when we set our personalization, our settings for security, our storage, which we talked about 15 gigs. So you get 15 gig for free, our privacy suggestions. So when we use the Edge, after completing the account, the Gmail account, we were directly accessed into the inbox, okay? So the difference between Chrome and the Edge. In Chrome, when you set up your Gmail account, you're immediately taken into your Google account main page. And this is where we set our personal information, our data personalization, our security, our payment in any subscriptions. So if we click on personal information, this is where we get to take a glance at all that, and if it needs to be edited or if we need to add a profile picture. So you see the display is relatively different, right, in creating the account between the Edge and Chrome. So this is utilizing Chrome. And so if we want to access our inbox, our Gmail account, we want to go to our menu where we have access to all these apps for free because we just created our Gmail account. There's YouTube. So to access our inbox, we can go ahead and click on Gmail. And that's going to load for us our Gmail inbox account. Here's our workspace, work Gmail account. So it's being set up. And this looks exactly the same as it was when we signed into our new account using the Edge, right? So using Chrome, this particular step, which is the main home page for us to personalize our Gmail account, this particular field was skipped using the Edge, okay? Just so there's no confusion. So in utilizing Chrome as your browser, this is where it will take you. And you want to come to the top right-hand corner, click on the menu and access Gmail, which in turn will open for us our inbox. So this gives us a quick review, right? We remember our Google Meet from earlier. So we'll say, okay, we got that. There it is. And here's our get started with your Gmail account. So some things that need to be addressed in order to take advantage of the Gmail account and all its functionalities. And all we have to do is go through those and choose what we want as far as the settings. And I'm just going to randomly choose a theme because those are always fun. And we want to hit save. And so here we are, we're back in our inbox. And so now signing out using Gmail. So here's our profile. We selected the S, and we can change our profile image by clicking on the camera, which then takes us to upload a photo from our photos or from any destination we might have saved it to. And so let's sign out, right? Let's sign out here. And this is what we should receive. Okay, so we see two accounts. This is the actual active account that I have. This is the account that we just created. I just created as a walkthrough. And so if we have many accounts here and we need to remove them because they are outdated and we need to keep this nice and clean for better functionality, we can just click on remove account and then choose the account we want to delete. So if we click on that, we're cautioned removing the account. So this is the account that we just set up. Google services will no longer, have that information accessible. It's going to be removed essentially. And you just say, yes, remove it. And that's how you go about removing it. Now let's sign into our new account. I'm going to go ahead and select it. And then we're prompted to enter the password. And I'm going to go ahead and enter the password. And I believe it was that, but we'll find out here. So there's the password. And as long as you're using your login device in a private, secure environment, it's okay to check the box, show the password. If you're using your own personal computer at home, that's definitely okay to leave it on. Most certainly not advised in a public location, like a library or anywhere else that's not private, because the system or the browser is going to remember the password and someone can view the password. So now we've entered our password. We'll click on next. And here we're prompted, how would we like to better enhance our account? So our sign-in, right? We can add a home address. We can add or confirm our recovery email. So these are additional information coming from Google to better take advantage of our account. So we'll just say not now for that. And that takes us back to our inbox. And the signature, let's dive into that now that we know the login for this. So heading back in here, and all the way at the bottom was our signature. Signature. And I'll just put star. And we want to on reply in for new emails. And if we want to insert our signature before quoted text and replies, we can do that. We can check that box if we're interested in that. And then the message, you know, whatever message we want. Thank you. Kindly. And then only send a response to people in my contact. So if you don't want to respond to people outside your contact, since this is a particularly private or personal account, you most certainly can check that box if this is an option that interests you. Go ahead and uncheck it, and then we'll save that. And let's give it a go here. So we are composing an email. And what happened to our compose window? There it is. I'm trying to drag it so that you can see it all. Okay, here's a pop-up. So we'll just say got it. Now, these are all additional features. Here's our insert signature. Here's our manage signatures. Though nothing is loading, let's give it another go. So it's saying no signature, but we just added a signature. So that's the thing with technology. You just got to try it until see, it's already saved, until the settings are applied. So some settings take a while to register. Let's just go back to our setting and make sure that the signature we added is still there. So for some reason, it did not save it signature. We see it there, right? And then we'll go to the bottom, and there it is. Plain text, save changes. Okay, let's try it again. Compose. And we'll maximize this. Going back to our, okay. So anytime this particular issue occurs, restart your computer. Always restart. There are in some cases where rebooting the computer will load the proper backend files to apply the new changes that we've made to whatever account or software we're making changes to. So of course, if I restart the computer right now, that would disturb our session, and that is not going to work. But I think we get the gist of it. Now, that pretty much sums up the creation of our Gmail account. Certainly, we can add any other Gmail account or other email account you prefer. If we wanted to set up a Yahoo account, the process in the sense of creating a Gmail account or a Yahoo account or an AOL account is all the same, meaning our first name, our last name, our passwords, and any additional securities that a particular provider is going to ask us, we have to provide. So this is Yahoo. A quick look, we can see your email, your first name, same thing as we saw in a Gmail account, but the option is certainly available. Now, before we end today's session, there are more exciting news in regards to our one-on-one private sessions. Let's take a look at our availabilities. There are, all right, let's see here. Now, this is for the East Polk Library. Friendly reminder, the one-on-one sessions are free, and these are the reoccurring dates, Thursdays, every third Thursday of the month from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. The number is 423-548-4004, and the hours are at the bottom left-hand side. If these hours do not work for you, contact your local library, and please stay in contact with their YouTube channel and their Facebook page. All this will be available, and take advantage of this. This is exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in the future. Thank you and have a wonderful day.